She started screaming. I lowered my voice and told her to shut up. That silenced her quickly. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel Aura Zone Stories. A few days ago, I shared a story with 6 updates where the husband was a Special Force Army member and how he exposed her wife and divorced her. Today, I have new 5 updates on that story. So, let's begin. Update 7. Honestly, I didn't expect to post again for a while, but well, something happened. My siblings flew back yesterday, and I drove my mom back to her home. When I returned home in the evening, a few hours later, ex-sister-in-law came to my home. She told me that when my soon-to-be ex-wife read my email, she wailed nonstop until she shut down. Then a few hours later, she got up and started writing things. She wrote a list of people she must make amends to. Ex-sister-in-law then handed me a giant 8 pages long letter. I read it today. Well, it's long and personal. The first 2 pages were just apologies. Third page was a giant list of people. And next 5 pages were her telling me that she is resolved to never give up on me, and she will make amends and earn every one of their respect and friendship, and how she will never touch anyone else. She will redeem herself in my eyes, even if it takes her the rest of her life. I don't even know what to think about this. I won't reply to this, and just put this in the file, which I will just lock up when I leave on Monday. My buddy, who is married to Queen Bee, took some pity on Queen Bee and helped her put down payment on a small flat, and even pulled a favor to get Queen Bee a job at a grocery store. The store manager and owner is a close friend, and a disabled vet. He has said he will only hire her on provision, that if she steps out of line and misbehave even a little, he will fire her right then and there. Queen Bee has been homeless for a few months, so I think she will make the most of this. These days, my buddy told me Queen Bee is very quiet and just keeps her head hanging low. We also learned from someone who is still in contact with Queen Bee to some capacity that Queen Bee is contemplating self-deletion. The amazing thing is he did all of this without ever coming into any direct contact with Queen Bee. But he let her know just how thin ice is under her feet. He did all of this for his kid, so at least his kid won't get visitations from a homeless mother. Many here requested I write about how my buddy's stories went, but I don't think it's my place to write about it. After divorce is finalized and we heal somewhat, I will ask them if I can post how their stories went here. It will be a while though. Anyways guys, you are all awesome. You have helped me more than you can know. It has helped me pick up some shards of my broken heart. And believe me, only those that have went through this know how much that means. You all have my eternal gratitude. I won't be posting for a while, because I doubt anything else will happen from now on. But if it does, I will probably tell you about it. To all those with broken hearts and shattered lives who are currently going through this, please pick yourself up and keep walking. Only you can heal yourself. Wounds of the body heal automatically, but wounds of mind and soul only heal when you actively nurse them. Don't let cheaters win. Live a good life. I think this verse from Invictus was written especially for us, the betrayed. In the fell clutch of circumstance I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance my head is bloody, but unbowed. So don't bow your head, don't settle for cheats, don't surrender your morality, and no matter how painful it is, walk with your heads held high, because otherwise life isn't worth living. Update 8. Hey everyone, it's been a week since my last update. A lot of people messaged me showing their support and love. Honestly, that helps a lot. So, I thought I should write an update about what else has been happening since then and few new developments. For one, some people are confused as what I meant that our pensions are safe, because me and my soon-to-be ex-wife have been married for more than 10 years. And yes, according to military rules, if you are married for more than 10 years, then you have to give 50% to your ex, no matter the reasons. That is a messed up rule. The only one who has crossed the 10-year mark is me. 4 of us are protected. I instead paid soon-to-be ex-wife in a lump sum in exchange for relinquishing all rights to my pension. I took a bit of financial hit, but honestly I have a lot saved up. Out of 6 of us, 5 are married, 1 is single, but that's because he was cheated on by his GF when he just joined, so it was years ago. As for me, my brother is a very successful businessman. He has his fingers in a lot of pies, and my mother gave me a lot of inheritance and assets left behind by my dad when I became 20. My brother convinced me to invest in business with him rather than wasting it, so that's just what I did. I became a partner with him in few of his ventures. That initial investment exploded and made quite a nest egg. I even convinced 2 of my buddies to invest. I never touched money from it, only kept reinvesting all the profits. The only times I took from it was when I bought my house. I wanted to become an engineer. It's one of my passions, but college is ridiculously expensive these days, and I didn't want to hurt my savings. I also knew that I will be at least 24 when I graduate, and then start a career which would be uncertain. I really wanted to start a family by then. So I joined military and hoping to join engineering corps, but instead I got scouted by Joint Special Operations Command, met up with my brothers and bought the house. They were already living in that community. A year later, my soon-to-be ex-wife moved in with me, and in a year we got married. It was also her idea to keep our finances separated, because she wanted a career of her own after college. The only joint accounts we had were for vacation savings, emergencies, groceries, and maintenance. Anyway, currently we are in Texas and have been deployed on training and instructing new recruits. It has kept us busy, and we are honestly enjoying it. Our commanding officer even called it a paid vacation. We are currently discussing if we should just request a permanent transfer here, but that won't be fair to our single buddy and our commanding officer. But we are thinking about it. Our single buddy said, if we decide to move, he will move with us. Our commanding officer told us he can make it happen. We have the rank, so it's relatively easy. Yesterday, we had a lovely barbecue dinner at a buddy's family home. He's from Texas originally, and had a lot of fun with his family. So yeah, we are thinking of moving here. I will probably sell that house, because there is a lot of pain there, and it hurts too much to call it my home and buy a good suburb house here. As for my soon-to-be ex-wife, I have instructed her family to stop all contact with me for a while. I told them when I am ready I will tell them. They are close, so I can't cut them out of my life completely. But I will never talk to them about soon-to-be ex-wife, and I have told them never to mention her to me again. Anyway, I will probably go quiet for a while from here. There isn't much left to say. I will probably update when divorce is finalized. Update 9. So, yesterday at about 8 p.m., Queen Bee's ex-husband, my bro with the 6-year-old kid, received a message from his lawyer. He thought it was important, so he called the lawyer back. The lawyer told him that Queen Bee came to his office today to communicate a letter to my bro. At first, my bro thought he didn't want to read that letter and told the lawyer not to send him, but one of my other buddies convinced him to at least see what else she had to say. They just expected more nonsense, but what we got was infinitely worse. Jesus, I feel like I am back to day one, the day I first learned about their affairs. Both of them read the letter first and got really unsettled, and I mean they were fuming. So they called us and gathered us all. Then they opened the email on his laptop and told us to read it all. So we did. The first few pages were just apologies, and her saying how she ruined everything. Her future, our future, and how she a monster bound for deepest pits of hell, the same old nonsense. Then she thanked him profusely for showing mercy, and getting her a place to stay and a stable job for the foreseeable future. Then came the juicy bit. It was a full written confession and timeline from Queen Bee. According to this letter, this all started about 9 years ago when Queen Bee met and made some friends at some library she used to frequent. There was a book club or something there. At first they were just talking about books and their usual activities, but soon they started asking about Queen Bee's romantic life and how she was coping with her then BF, now soon-to-be ex-husband, being away from her on a deployment, and then they started feeding her this weird anti-men narrative, how we are all controlling, and how the wives are just supposed to stay quietly at home, or for some reason all men are monsters, and how we see our significant others as some sort of slave. It was some weird messed up, jumbled version of feminism, with no supporting arguments. I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't even understand it. They all called themselves feminists, but what they were spewing was pretty far from what feminism was supposed to be. I always thought feminism was supposed to be a moment to give women rights and freedoms, like ability to pursue good, healthy, and free lives, like ability to have a job, or ability to vote and study. It was supposed to empower women to complement men's strengths with a woman's strength, and be in turn complemented with a man's strength, which I respect. Men and women are equal, but we are different. Men have their strengths and weaknesses, and women have a different set of strengths and weaknesses. Like for example, men are physically stronger. We have denser bones and muscles as well as larger lung capacity, and more hemoglobin, meaning we are more adept at physical effort. Men also have a more emotionally stable and compartmentalizing mind. Men also have better depth perception and spatial awareness, but men also have our weaknesses. Like men are emotionally stunted, we find it harder to connect emotionally and express emotions. Men are also socially awkward. Generally, we at most keep up with a circle of 10 to 35 friends. Women have their own strengths like ability to keep up with more than 200 to 800 friends, and emotionally and psychologically connect and support others. Women have the ability to connect family and make them all stronger. Both men and women can do both, but we generally find it easier to stick to our strengths. This all is supported by actual science. Men and women are supposed to have a complementary relationship, not a competitive one. That is called a family, where we are supposed to be each other's strengths and cover each other's weaknesses. Men are supposed to be the brain, and women are supposed to be the heart of the family. That's how humans have evolved to be. It's like creating an alloy, where the resulting alloy is much stronger than the composing metals. If my ex was a feminist and was fighting some real injustice against women, something that could actually be proven with supporting evidence and arguments, I would have carried her on my shoulders and made her taller, her voice louder. I would have become her shield against any storm. Any stone thrown her way, I would have thrown a bigger stone right back. But this misandrism, trying to suppress men and spreading poison, is just disgusting. Anyway, what I was reading from her letter about what they spoon-feed Queen Bee was misandrism, not feminism. This was some weird, disgusting, men-hating cult of succubi dressed in a woman's skin. And they effectively brainwashed the Queen Bee by keeping her fed with constant flow of nonsense. It was like some well-trained indoctrination program. It was messed up. When Queen Bee was hooked, they then started to tell her to empower herself by exploring her physicality and leave a free life unbound by shackles of men and monogamy. Like cheapening and selling yourself, your body, soul, time and emotions for cheap thrills. And material things is somehow supposed to be empowering. Like neglecting your spouses, and true love is supposed to be somehow empowering. Like neglecting and putting someone who truly loves you into the same category as some random a-holes who just want to pump and dump you is supposed to be somehow empowering. Queen Bee bought into all this crap, and 6 years ago, after marriage, and just after giving birth to her son, she started her infidelity and got addicted to it. She had 8 affairs. She then started to slowly drip the same poison in all of our ex-wife's ears, promoting her nonsense like it's some kind of rite of passage. Something you must do if you are a woman. It was toxic. In a few months, another ex-wife joined her, and they both started hanging out in bars and flirting up their coworkers. Then they both started poisoning the rest, and one by one they all fell. My ex was the last one, who also fell to 3 years ago, just to fit in Queen Bee's words. Once they were all plagued by this contamination, they started organizing and covering for each other, like lying to us about all kinds of stuff. There's a whole lot in this 24-page long confession. I mean, things I can't even talk about here, because the very words disgust me. It's like reading Ted Bundy's journal. Is this what modern feminism has come to? Is this what all women have come to? Is this what our nation has come to? Is this what we were fighting and bleeding to protect? I mean, really, if that's so, then I'm going to migrate to the Europe or something. I feel rage like I have never felt before. It's like my anger at all this has reached some kind of apotheosis. I mean, I always suspected something like this was going on in the background, but this all is infinitely worse than anything I could have imagined. Sorry, I just needed to vent and gather my thoughts. Writing helps organize thoughts when you are enraged. We don't know what to do with this confession. I mean, I don't even know why the Queen Bee bothered sending this to us. Is this some kind of torture? Update 10. Hey guys, honestly, I just wrote my story on Reddit to get some advice, but it got blown up, and since I do have to maintain a certain level of secrecy, I just wrote on my personal page and not on any subreddits except a few updates. I wanted to make sure this story didn't get found out by our soon-to-be ex-wives or their families before Armageddon Day. But now that it's happened, it doesn't matter anymore if it gets found out by them. I received hundreds of messages and comments from all kinds of people and groups, some of them weird and some of them not so weird. And many of them asked the same questions over and over again. Guys, sorry, I am busy guy. I can't write to all of you, and I can't post updates over and over again, so I will just write answers to these questions here. I am writing this update to answer some unanswered questions and tell you guys about a very interesting meeting I had with a feminist. So, for one, to those who offered their support, advice, and sympathy, you people are awesome. You have literally helped me in the darkest days of my life. I had no idea I could rely on internet strangers for help and understanding. But you guys were there for me just like my brothers and my family was there for me. You guys have helped me pick myself up and walk after I got my legs cut off by my soon-to-be ex-wife. I am still limping, but I am improving day by day. I have somehow slowed down the emotional roller coaster and learned to stabilize it. I now know what to do whenever I get hit by that train. Gentlemen, going to gym, keeping yourself busy, eating healthy, and essentially tiring yourself every day is a sage advice in this scenario. I learned running up a hill loaded with gear does wonders for psychotherapy. It focuses your mind on what's important, makes you stronger, and keeps the demons at bay. Secondly, guys, I fell in love with Texas. It's beautiful, and I am talking wild rock formations. Open country, fresh air, good people, and wild horses. Beautiful. We have decided to settle here once our divorce is finalized and sale of our houses go through. Thirdly, for those who somehow think this is all fake, okay, you are entitled to your beliefs. Sometimes truth can be stranger than fiction, and believe me, due to nature of my job, I have seen a lot of really weird stuff, things I would have refused to believe before I actually witnessed them. So it's perfectly natural to be skeptical about those things. Just please don't bother messaging me about it if you think it's fake. Fourthly, I have been messaged by some weird neo-Nazi white supremacist group, and that was kinda gross. To those people I will say this, you better pray you don't meet me in the dark. Fifthly, I have also been messaged by a lot of poly people and swingers telling me to get together with my soon-to-be ex-wife and forgive her. They said, it's not that bad, and let my soon-to-be ex-wife have her fun while I am away. And I should also have my fun when I am overseas. To those people I will say, you guys can have your beliefs. Just don't try to shove them down others' throats. I am a monogamous guy, and to me loyalty and commitment are the most important traits for any relationship. Betrayal is unforgivable. I will never be disloyal to whoever I am in a committed relationship with, and I expect the same standard in return. So, please just stick to your people and leave me to mine, and we will get along fine. Sixthly, yay, we are suing the affair partners, and we are really raking them over the coals. Combined with their divorces, their lives are a mess right now. Most of them asked for out-of-the-court settlements, but we turned them down. It's expensive but worth it. One of the idiots even tired to threaten us, I mean really. Seventhly, we have cut of as many benefits for our soon-to-be ex-wives as we can. We will not be financing their disgusting nonsense. Eighthly, guys, I understand your anger. After what happened to me, the letter of Queen Bee I read. I really understand your anger at women. But please, I will say it again. There are some really good women out there. They are very hard to find these days, but there are some really good women out there. Don't let men-hating women, misandrists, turn you into women-hating men, because if you let that happen, they will win. Just keep your eyes open, remain vigilant, and look for the red flags. Just follow the policy of equal rights and equal fights. I know I will. I will always hate cheaters, but don't just blame it on the women. Not all women are cheats, at least I hope not. And many men also cheat. The so-called Chads and Tyrones are monsters who allow for this kind of nonsense to happen. They destroy not only their own lives, but lives of everyone around them. And finally, I will tell you guys about an interesting meeting with a raging feminist. She wasn't a feminist, she was a misandrist. It was certainly enlightening, and I gave her a true reality check. So, 2 days ago, a brother of my buddy convinced us to visit a bar with him to pass the time and have some fun, so the three of us went to the bar. We were having fun, and all of a sudden, a woman probably in her late 30s approached us. She sat next to me and started chatting all of a sudden. My buddy's brother told me to give it a shot. Just casually date this woman. It will be a good boost for me. I wasn't really in the mood, because I am still kinda jaded, and I am terrified of any rebound relationship. But I decided to chat with her. So, after some pleasantries, the conversation took an interesting but predictable turn. She soon started asking me about my job. I didn't tell her the details, but I mentioned I was in military and have my own business. She asked me how much I make, my fashion sense, my hobbies. Basically, she was profiling me. I was just amused at this girl and kept answering. So soon, sure enough, she asked me out on a date. At this point, I was like, okay, since you are done with your questionnaire, it's my turn. I then asked her what does she bring to the relationship, and tell me about her past relationships, and she just falls quiet. She says it's rude of me to ask her that, and then she just goes off in a tangent about how women shouldn't be asked those questions and blah blah blah. It was a long and weird tirade. I just stayed quiet with a smirk on my face, slowly drinking my beer. When she finally ran out of steam, I just replied the correct answer to that question was loyalty, commitment, respect, and love. I then told her if she is going to profile me and size me up by my wallet, and she needs to measure up and reply in kind. If your only marketable skill is looks and intimacy, then you should know how easy and cheap that is these days. And you clearly have serious self-accountability issues. I told her I am not interested in her money or her job, and just like how a woman is interested in a man's future, a man is interested in a woman's past. And by her tirade she just told me how and why all her past relationships failed. How she spent her youth and prime being a carousel rider with a bunch of a-holes who were never going to commit to her. And now that she has finally hit the wall, she is realizing she doesn't have any options left. And at her age, her chances of even giving a man children are rapidly dwindling. And the kind of woman who rejected every good man and went for every a-hole in her prime isn't very appealing to a good man in his prime. She was stunned silent, then I just got up and walked away. She did not take the rejection well, and started screaming and throwing a tantrum, but I just didn't care and ignored her. Anyways, in a week or two, I will have a trip to North Sea. Those in the loop will understand what that means. Anyways, see you soon. Edit. Well, today I found out from my buddy that his bro told him that girl is now asking about me in that bar. Apparently buddy's brother went to the bar with his friends today, and that girl instantly spotted him and started asking about me and my contact info. That's kinda scary. Also, to answer one more question, I get over and over again, after we moved to Texas, a lot of guys from the old base have now entered their own investigative phase, and a lot of skeletons are coming out of the closet. It's a mess. Yay, let that sink in for a moment. This is how this society repays our loyalty and sacrifice. Update 11. Hello everyone. This is the first time I am writing something like this, and before now I had no idea there were so many cheating stories on the internet. Honestly, when we started researching the cheating spouses and what they do to explore our options, I discovered there was so much data online we could use. My friend and teammate showed us his posts after our Armageddon day, and told us about the massive support he received from internet strangers. He said it's a therapy unlike any other, and it helps focus your mind towards what we suffered, felt, and what you want in the future. He told us to write about our experiences and what we went through, and instead of creating multiple Reddit accounts, he shared his account with rest of us, so we can all write what we want to say. Me and my ex had no children by choice, so I will write about the Armageddon day, the way I confronted my ex-wife. My ex-wife cheated on me with 5 guys. Apparently she had a thing for younger guys. My ex works as a nurse at a local hospital in our city, and she would find guys who were single. She would seduce them and feed them some crap, and start her affairs with them, often at their homes, and would play the role of a single woman, maybe even a widow whenever I was away at a deployment. So my approach to confrontation was kind of different. I managed to track down her current affair partner. He is a 27-year-old college student, single, working as a heating, ventilation, and air conditioning tech, studying in a master's program. Apparently, he met my ex when he was doing maintenance at the hospital. My ex is 32, so after confirming this guy is her current affair partner, I started doing research on him. He is a good guy, innocent, from a decent family, and was completely unaware that she was married. He thought he landed a decent girlfriend. I didn't want to destroy this guy's future because he didn't know. So one day, I decided to meet him. I approached him a few days before Armageddon Day. At first he thought I was mistaken and confused, then I showed him the pictures of my ex with me. The pure shock on his face told me everything I needed to know about this guy. He was appalled and angry and scared of me at the same time. I told him I wanted to find out if he knew about her and what kind of lies she told him directly from him. And I confronted him first, so I won't have to sue him. He then told me everything about dates he took her on, gifts he bought for her, the whole story. He then told me he is done with her and he won't ever see her again, and asked me what my plans were. So I told him. So after I returned home, I told my ex-wife that I will be leaving on a trip for 2 days with the guys, and as planned the boy toy chatted her up acting like he doesn't know anything and asked her to spend the night at his place. He told her that he will come home at 9 p.m. And as predicted, my ex-wife immediately agreed to go to his place. That was sickening. So for 2 days before Armageddon Day, me and Boy Toy prepared an ambush, and we plastered the bedroom at his place with pictures of her affairs with him, and her previous Boy Toys collected from her laptop and cell phones, as well as all the footage from the security system at my place. On Armageddon Day, I left home at about 8 a.m. and went straight to bank to transfer all the funds from my personal accounts to a new bank account I opened a week earlier because she knew about previous account details and moved 50% from all accounts we share. Then went to Boy Toy's place, hid my car and waited at 8:30 p.m. after confirming that my ex has met up with the Boy Toy. I disconnected her cell from my plan and called her parents, telling them everything and what is about to happen. They were sad, shocked, and angry at her. I also told them that at 9 sharp a friend of mine will arrive at their place with a box full of evidence. At 9:10 p.m., my ex-wife arrived with her Boy Toy, and as she entered his house, she tried making out with him, but he pushed her away. This confused her. He then dragged her in the bedroom and turned on the lights where I was sitting on the bed with bloodshot eyes. So yeah, you can all imagine her expression as she had a breakdown. She looked at the pictures and texts plastered on the walls. I was just silent and Boy Toy began first and told her she is disgusting and he is done with her and never wants to see her again. Then I walked up to her and handed her the divorce papers, and as predicted, she started her excuses, lying, gaslighting, and other nonsense. But I had a whole script of all that already written down. I took out the papers and started reading all the pre-prepared replies to everything, seeing that she started screaming. When she started, I lowered my voice and told her to shut up. That silenced her quickly. I told her she is no longer welcome at my house and to go live with her parents. They live in the same city, so they are not very far. She said, I can't just kick her out. I replied, if she tries to return to my home, all of this evidence is going to her hospital next. And her previous Boy Toys that are working there will also be screwed with her. She just started crying after that. Her current Boy Toy then said, if I want, he is willing to testify against her in court. I thanked him. She knew she was screwed, because not only was this an at-fault state, she also had us sign a prenup with a clause of adultery for peace of her mind, as she said. Well, since then she has tried all kinds of drama, but I have remained strictly no contact with her. All of her offers for marriage counseling and stuff have been ignored. And every friend she tried to rope in with her narrative has been informed of the truth with appropriate evidence. Her family almost disowned her because they are so disgusted by her actions and have literally crucified her. She still continues the drama and even tried to stalk me until my lawyer contacted her and told her if she doesn't stop, I will get a restraining order against her. Well, that's my story. I know I will never trust her again. And as my buddy said, loyalty is the most important aspect of any relationship. His ex doesn't serve any sympathy since she cheated and lied about being widow, which is messed up. Glad that she signed prenup and agreed on infidelity clause as well, living false state. Seriously, does she think that she can cover affair from her ex who is in special force?